Hello everybody, welcome back to Art and Outdoor Life here with John. Okay, so I have a cup of water and I have my Paynes Gray, ultramarine blue and black, and I have black with Prussian blue, black with cerulean blue. So let's see how we can do this. Let's do this for fun. Okay, so this is Winsor Newton, and that's Paynes Gray. Now, I do, suggest that if you're not familiar with Paynes Gray, please do look up the history of Paynes Gray. It's very fascinating. Okay, so we'll do shades like this. Dilute it. Paynes Gray diluted. Paynes Gray diluted. Okay. So now, it's less than a month. It will be 2 years since I started painting, and all except for the last month, I've been making my own Paynes Gray because I cannot get Paynes Gray at the store. They don't sell it at your local Walmart and those kind of stores. So I've been making my own. So that's why I want to do this little test here. Okay, so we grab, let's see, black, and we put a little blue in there. Dilute it, see what we come up with. Okay, this is ultramarine blue with Paynes Gray, depending on how much you want to add to it. And that's why I like making my own. Okay, so there's one. Get this out of here. Sometimes I use a light blue, and sometimes I use an ultramarine blue. Dilute it. If I add more black. Okay, so this is Winsor Newton, Cotman, Paynes Gray. This is what I use, one of what I use, just a regular black with ultramarine blue. Okay, now there's a few other ways I make Paynes Gray. I've explained it in my other videos, but we're doing a little test run here. Okay, so now this is Prussian blue, which is a dark blue. Okay, it's a dark blue. It's not your ultramarine, but it is a dark blue. So Prussian blue. Let's dilute it. And let's see what we can get here. Let's see. I really want to dilute this. And I'm doing this off the fly, so let's see. A little bit more blue in there. me do this. Get that off of the... Here, let's try this. Now, another thing that I do is when I mix the black and the blues, I also I go ahead and I add red. Okay, so this is with the Prussian blue. Okay, this was the ultramarine blue. This is the Prussian blue. Now let's look at the cobalt blue, or no, the cerulean blue. My apologies. Okay, now again, I'm going to say this. The real reason that, the reason why I've always used made my own, obviously I've said it countless times, is because they do not sell Paynes Gray at your Walmart. Okay, so this is with cerulean blue. Okay, so we add a little bit more cerulean blue into the black. Start getting this. Let's lighten it. Dilute it. Get some shades in here. Okay. And then it starts going here. And even lighter, it even gets lighter. Obviously, anything will get lighter with the less black, right? So, okay, that's almost all cerulean blue, so a little bit more black in there. Okay, so this is the Winsor Newton Paynes Gray from the tube, kind of diluted. This is the Prussian blue with black. To make my own, how I make my own Paynes Gray, kind of diluted. It is, and this is, or no, this is the ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue, my apologies. This is the Prussian blue, and I don't think I did a good job of diluting it, but this is pretty much what it comes out to. These are fair. It's fair to look at these shades. And even when you're mixing them like this is the cerulean blue. Now this here is a more, right there is a more, well, let's see. That's a more fair shake with the black, okay? So let's try, this is the Prussian blue. Let's give it a more fair shake by diluting some of it right on the paper. Okay, and let's do the same with the ultramarine blue. Let's give it a fair shake. And with the cerulean blue, we'll do the same. So these are my shades of Paynes Gray that I use. I've been using for, it'll be 2 years in 2 weeks. And less than a month ago, I got the real Paynes Gray, and let's just dilute this. in between here. Now, you know, I don't know, there's more of a, you could see the blue in there, but you can also see some of the red tint in there. The red tint makes it want to turn purple. And that's the reason why I do this. I always put some red, and it's always been crimson red light. I've always put a little bit of crimson red light into my Paynes Gray. Mix, always just a touch, no matter what I was painting and such. So I don't know if you could see it, but I can see it. I can see a little bit of purple in here, which means that there must be some kind of red in there. Okay. Now black and white, of course, obviously. This looks very black and white. Gray. Paynes Gray. However, this one here is the ultramarine blue, and I did not put the red in here. And this one here is the Prussian blue, and I did not use any red light in here. This one here is the black mixed with the cerulean blue, and I did not use any red in here. So there's a big difference. But when you're putting it on dark, you know, then the eye is different. But when you start diluting these, you know, these paints, these mixtures, this is, you know, of course, out of the tube. These are mixtures. When you start diluting them, then you start seeing a difference with how I did in between here. This becomes lighter and more of a gray, but there's still a purple tint up in here. And in here, you're not seeing any purple tint at all. It's cool. It's a cool color. The colors are cooler. And then here, obviously, is more the black than the ultramarine blue. And with the Prussian blue, it seemed, you know, there is no red tint in these that I see. So these are basically, you know, it's cooler. And then with the cerulean blue, it gets very, very light. Well, that's almost all cerulean blue there. But it does get very light, but yet there is no red tint that I could see. Okay. This, however, does turn more toward a purple. And then it goes this way. I didn't dilute these all the way. Well, I did right here, and maybe right here with the ultramarine. So that's, and I've been making my own Paynes Gray for 2 years. So, you know, yeah, there is a big difference. There is a big difference. But when I add the red to these, the difference isn't that big unless you have a great eye for colors and you know exactly, if you're a chemist or something, then you probably know exactly what's going on. But to a normal person, a lay person who is not into the painting, not into the colors like that, the faded colors like that, and I don't normally do these things, then like from here to here to here, you know, then there's not a whole lot of difference, especially if you're only using parts of your painting. if you're only, using just little parts. It's not a big difference. But it just depends on the painter that you are, the artist you are, the knowledge that you want. Like I said in the beginning, do your study on, go and look up Paynes Gray and look up the story behind it and behind the person, and do it yourself. I love this because it is the real Paynes Gray. I mean, it says it, it's labeled, but I still love making and mixing and matching. I still love mixing and matching, and I did not put red in any of these, and I still love doing that on my own because I can make a whole bunch, and then I can take off a little bit of side of this and that, and I can add a little bit, and I can create my my Paynes Gray authentically. Here, if I'm going directly from the tube, I can't do that. But I can do the same thing with the other colors, the other pigments. I can add a little bit of red or a little bit of blue. I can do that here. So, anyways, thank you for viewing, and I want to wish you a wonderful, great, peaceful day. Sincerely yours, John.